This meeting is being recorded.
The 200 Sierra Sue now moving up boldly. Red Can Man and Sierra Sue. Sierra Sue gets a nick in front of Red Can Man, then Best of Day Superstorm. But Sierra Sue pulls clear. Sierra Sue won it. Second a photo between Angel of Truth and Red Can Man. Superstorm there for fourth with.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. P.B.Lawrence Stakes Day. Spring is on the tip of our tongues. As always, we're joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Yep, going well. As I said, spring is there. We can grab it. I can't wait, and this is just the start of it.
Fields are looking very competitive. A lot of first ups, so going to be interesting to see how they come back.
Yeah, most definitely. And the best part is, in this podcast, you get to relive what you did 12 months ago during lockdown number 7, and I know exactly who I backed in that race, and I still haven't collected.
Let me guess. 4th, Superstorm?
Yep. Yep, Ollie just looked after it a little bit, and yep, it still hurts. I thought he should have won. But
yes,
we get to relive him, and we'll relive him every week on the podcast.
No, that's right. That's the jaws of racing.
Yeah, that's it. Last week, well, pretty skinny, but the most important one got us home. And Matty, you might as well do it because you put it as the pineapple.
Mate, we did. We put Berkeley as the pineapple last week. And realistically, mate, we probably could have packed up our books and gone home before midday because afterwards it, as you mentioned, got very skinny. Didn't matter if you're betting in Queensland, Sydney, a lot of double-figure winners, even a couple of triple-figure winners. So it did get a little bit tough, but as you mentioned, good to get the pineapple home. Let's see if we get on a bit of a roll. So Berkeley Square definitely got us off to a good start.
Yeah, nice horse, which leads us into buying shares in. I'd be happy to buy shares in Berkeley Square because I found out pre-race Craig Williams is committed all spring for this horse.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's a big tick.
It was interesting too. It definitely showed something. I didn't want to be on it at 300. Looked like it was going to get swamped, and just dug deep and found another level and really put them to the sword.
Yeah, my phone cut out at the 300 and I went, oh, this is not good. And all of a sudden, it decided to kick back in 50 metres past the post.
Yes, no, it was a good start. But and one of the races that we were really interested in, the Missile Stakes, didn't that end in an absolute ball over with Hard Empire coming down from Queensland and winning at triple figures?
Yeah, it's, as I was saying to you, watching the race again, I thought they went quick up front, and when I checked the numbers, they went very slow, and everything that led has run near last, and everything's come from behind. So I don't know if it's going to be a good form race to take anything out of, but I thought Count de Rupee was quite serviceable to the eye.
No, it definitely was. And a few that we mentioned that we're looking forward to, Blue Chip Babe, Gem Song was quite good. Embracer had its chance. Looked like it was going to do something with 200 to go and just gave nothing. Counter Rupee. Forbidden Love, when I saw it go forward, I thought it was going to be exceptionally hard to beat. And again, with 200 to go, didn't give a lot. Nimley thought it was okay, obviously wanting further. But you mentioned something after the race that I found quite interesting. A lot of these horses have been running on very, very heavy tracks in their previous campaigns. Do you think that had something to do with their I guess, call it a bit of a false start first up?
Yeah, I think it's got to play a part. I would say let's see what happens this weekend in the Rosebud, but most of these didn't run deep into a autumn campaign. So, yeah, I think it's got to play a part. Hopefully we get some fields shortly we can start to look at and compare it to, because, my gut feel is it's something we've got to keep an eye on because it might just knock a horse right off and may not return well.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind and something we'll keep an eye on. But yeah, look, for a race that we thought was going to be a big form race moving forward. Probably provided a couple of surprises, especially with the winner.
I think if they can put Counteroo P as in the race a bit more and take the Mitsubishi off, I think they can. I think we can follow that. That's just my feel on it, but totally respect it. It could be a race we have to throw in the bin and look elsewhere.
Yes, we'll keep an eye on them.
Buying shares in, which leads us to, I'm going to go, I think we're going out of the same race, but I'm going to go with Real Easer. I think it is. It's by the Gavin Bedgegood horse. Just watched its run. It missed the key. Got squeezed at the start, and then it looked like the jockey couldn't control the horse. Wanted to lay in. He wanted to go left. He wanted to go right. I think if they put a senior jockey on this next start, the horse can be winning at huge odds. No fault of the jockey. I just don't think he was strong enough for the horse. That was Jacob Opperman. So, yeah, senior jockey next start, Real Easer.
And I'll be putting the winner in Veriskova. Look, this is probably a hindsight one. We should have put it in the portfolio after it ran second to Squid Game. I tipped at that start and should have been into the portfolio. We'll pop it in now, not just because of the win. Obviously impressive, but should have been in there anyway. So Veriskova, one to be following.
Yep, most definitely. Track stats. Rail out 9 metres, should favour leaders, typical Caulfield, but there is rain around tomorrow night and around 2 p.m. Saturday. In saying that, I reckon we'll be working around a soft 5, worse soft 6, and I reckon they'll be edging off because there's rain at 2 p.m. on Saturday, as I said, and if it arrives, they will be edging right off. Something to note also, and it's someone I respect as a judge, and I've never thought of it until now, and he said, you've got to watch out for these 3-year-olds coming back when they were 2, because some of them might have had huge grand finals, and they might not come back anywhere near what they should. He said, for Saturday, might have to just watch and see, because, yeah, there might be horses that were deep into a prep or just been set for blue diamonds and golden slippers. So their races 5 and 6. Anything to add, Matty?
No, mate, it's definitely a good shout. We every year we see 2-year-olds that turn 3 and just don't come back as the same horses as what we saw as 2-year-olds, and sometimes they do get burnt out. Being, as you mentioned, aimed and targeted at certain very profitable 2-year-old races. So it's a good shout. In saying that, I also like to look at the flip side. There's a lot of 2-year-olds out there that didn't perform, have a ton of ability, and they just need that little bit of experience, exposure of the races that they got as a 2-year-old. They have that little bit of time in the paddock, come back, and they do become very, very good horses. So that's what I'm looking for in these races, number 5 and 6, and I'll touch on one of them around the grounds a little bit later.
Beauty. All right, you're going to kick things off. The race 3, benchmark 90, 4-year-olds plus for the mares.
I am, mate. Have you got the odds there, please?
I most certainly do.
With one scratching too.
Yeah, one scratching, bless her. Wonder if it'll be a key scratching. The favourite is She's All Class, $2.60. We've got Scorched Earth, $4.83. Hellfest, $5. Number 7, Throntari, $4.80. And then you can write your own ticket for the remaining 3 horses.
Very good. Thank you, mate. Look, key observations in this race. I can't find a clear leader. I can't find anyone in this race that's going to take the bull by the horns and go to the lead. The inside 4 barriers, I see them all jump in at a similar speed, and you might find someone like a Scorched Earth or Hellfest or Little Stevie, even She's All Class. They might just find the lead by default. I kind of see them sitting 2 and 2 within that pack, and then the remaining 3 horses to fall in behind. I know you mentioned something about Throntari. Craig Williams might take the initiative. if it does jump well and sit and park in front, I just can't see it muster enough speed outside of the gates to be able to get across. So I'm not seeing a real clear leader in this. So one to keep in mind. Only 3 horses I want to have a quick chat about because I'm quite keen on one. Little Stevie, solid win last start. It is up in class, so it's going to have to improve. It'll be one of those ones that'll probably be in the second line, and I'd probably say on the outside. So you're probably going one back, one wide, which is a prime position for it. So I think it's going to have its chance on the corner. I just don't know whether it's going to have the class within this field. But one that I thought at odds probably provided a little bit of interest at $12. Hellfest, I look at Hellfest as being the big danger in this race. Really lightly raced, showed plenty of potential and showed plenty when it won at the Valley. And as I mentioned, I see this one as being the main danger, especially with Jamie Carr on board. Leaves us with She's All Class. Really quite keen on this one, Worm. Looks really quite well rated and well weighted within this. Last start against Chains of Lightning, which we know won last week. Really good form to be following. Sat 3 and 4 wide. Ran home exceptionally well, and it was just Chains of Lightning and She's All Class that really broke away from the others last time they faced off. So, mate, I'll keep it simple. I'll be on She's All Class. The scratching of Bless Her, I probably had Bless Her maybe 4th within this field. So the scratching, look, I wasn't too disappointed to see Bless Her scratch because I didn't necessarily think it was very well weighted or suited within this race. But we did only lose 20-30 cents with the scratching of Bless Her for She's All Class. So, mate, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word, but it's hard to assess here because I do use data, and the data tells me Throntari, the last 2 starts have been group level. And it should be way better than benchmark 90 grade. Willow stays on. I think that's a tick. His wins have been bloody impressive. That last one I thought was awesome. But 1,400 back to 1,200, now back to 1,100. I don't see that being ideal. Yes, he's going to be fit, but will 1,100 suit? As I am worried he might go to the front, but with Jamie Carr at 4, I don't reckon she's going to be letting him cross him and going hurdle speed at 1,100. Not much pace, as you mentioned. It could be 3 wide, no cover. If it produces the same figures as last 2 starts, this could be an absolute gap job. But I think we need to trust the form lines and our eyes, and that's She's All Class. 2 lengths behind Chain of Lightning that you mentioned. Came out and won last week. I thought She's All Class run was better than what it says to the eye. Barrier Tooth, stalks behind the leaders. Market late will be our guide. I can't get a guide on what it will do. My gut feel is it might start with a 3. I know you think it'll start with a 2, but the bottom line is we will be backing it and we'll be winning. That's the bottom line.
Very good. No, look, Throntari to me, I see it being a level below these. I get, especially last start, it was a really, really good win. Especially the last 400 was exceptionally impressive. But I don't know whether it's going to be running the same. Well, I don't know whether it's got the ability to be able to run the same time as a She's All Class. So, yeah, look, as you said, we'll both be on She's All Class, and we'll be winning this weekend.
Yep, most definitely. Race 7, I'm going to have a look at here, which is the Regal Roller Stakes over 1,200 metres, and what a bloody good horse that was. I reckon I backed it every start at Caulfield. It was just an auto bet, and I didn't even look at who it was running against. That's how dumb of a punter I was back in the day, but had some good collects. The odds, we got the favourite here, the Queensland horse, Uncommon James, $2.50. We then have Showmanship at $5.50. We have Lombardo, $6.50. Sinawan, $8.50. Rangers, $9. And then write your own ticket for the rest. Keen to get involved here, and that's number 11, Commons James. This horse is an X factor, and I reckon it's a future Group 1 winner if it's up in Brisbane or down here. Go back last year, June 12th, beating Moatai. Yeah, I think I'm close. Who was running alongside Home Affairs Paul Lealing in the Congo a few preps ago. Now, he's come out and won on Saturday. I think this is good form. All horses that go around in Group 1 races this spring. It's had 2 runs over the Winter Carnival in easy grades, and both won nicely. It's had a jump out down the straight, and I thought it went well without being asked to go. Now gets D-Lane, and they should camp behind the leaders here and waving goodbye to its oppositions at the 200-metre mark. When I've assessed this field, there's horses here that are first up and fitness to come with their horses, or there's horses in here that are deep in preps or have found their grade and they're just not going to be up to this field. And that's why I've gone with Uncommon James, X Factor, and I think he's a really nice horse in the making. Lombardo here, found it interesting how fit it's going to be. Coming off a Group 1 in Adelaide. Yep, hats off. Great winning Group 1. But second to Halvorsen on a day that you had to lead. It's had a jump out in the blinkers. Blinkers stay on, so there is some intent to win, but 61 kilos, can't be really getting involved. Showmanship first up. I thought its jump out was good. Oh, sorry, it was just okay. Barrier 1 this time of day, and if the rain arrives, it might be not the place to be, but his run at the Wangoom at Warrnambool was impressive. I'm interested to see if this horse is ready to go first up, and he might be one we keep on side, but really keen on number 11 here, Uncommon James. Matty.
Yeah, I'll end up exactly where you did in this race, mate. Any thoughts on Rangers?
Yeah. Yeah. I know you're looking and you can see Rule of Law back in January. If it brings that form, it definitely can, but geez, it just won at Grafton in the Ramone. Don't know if it's going to be up to Uncommon James. It can run a drum, but barrier 10, he's going to be 3 wide. Yeah.
I just find it it's going to be well weighted for 100 racer within this field at 56.5 kilos versus Lombardo and Sinawan up at 60 and 61.
Yeah.
Interesting to note, McAvoy on board for the first time riding this.
Okay.
He's coming down. He's only got 2 rides in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time he's riding it. So I'll tell you something about his other ride for the day. But very consistent horse, and at $10, I'm interested in it. But as I said, landed on the same Uncommon James. I think it's got quite a lot of upside.
Yep.
And Damien Lane on board, I think it'll get an absolute peach of a ride.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's there to win. I think it's to improve its rating of a rating 84.
Yep.
What's up, guys? I say it every week. We had a couple newbies join, which is good. If you want my tips, my thoughts on daily Victorian meetings, then DM to join. Like this podcast, we are free. This podcast isn't hidden behind any paywalls. If you ask any questions, we will answer them on the show. So please, guys, get involved. We want to interact with you. And we won't hide behind the questions either, unlike some. My WhatsApp and thoughts and this podcast are all free. We've been a bit light on as a community. I think someone was sending through cryptocurrency during the week. So you like your crypto, there's a couple of sickos in there. But come and join, guys. Get in while the iron is hot, because you're going to be winning this month. That's for sure.
Supposedly the bears are about to hibernate, and we're jumping back into a bull market.
Yeah. 4 a.m. this morning, the phone was pinging through drip trip. It was quite funny, even though I've got no effing idea what it's all about, but I still read it and watch the guys go at it. But yeah,
it's all right. We'll have a punt on anything.
Oh, 100%. No questions asked. P.B.Lawrence, race 8, 1400, Group 2. The odds here. We got the favourite here, Mr. Brightside. First up, $3.30. Scalapini, $4. I Am Superman, first up, $5.50. We got the Big Elephant back, $9. Buffalo River, Uncle Bryn, $11 a piece with Regal Power. And then write your own ticket for Streets of Avalon and A SAR. Tricky race this. I'm happy to be with number 7 here. I Am Superman. Thought its most recent jump out and only jump out was superb in Sydney. I feel it will be here to it'll be here to rock and roll. After a little let up from the Stradbroke, draws a perfect barrier to camp behind the leaders. M Zara is a good booking in my eyes, nice and strong, and he's hungry at the moment. I would have thought he would have the choice between this horse and number 9, Uncle Brim, which he won at Ceylon back in April. Uncle Brim has jumped out awesome. It's only had one jump out, but I've really liked how it has come back and the way it has jumped out. It's currently $11. I think you can wait. I think you can get at least 20s on race time. At the weights, it's horribly weighted. Basically, these are 100 raters and Uncle Brim's 87. It should be getting 12 kilos off Regal Power, but it meets him at level weights. So in saying that, I think you can wait and get 20s at least come race day for Uncle Brin. I'm keen to see how Mr. Brightside comes back. He scares me. I can't get my head around him. I don't think he's there to win first up, but he's come back. I think he can come back huge this prep, especially off the last prep it's had. Winning the Doncaster. Jump outs have been fair, but he always jumps out fair. And I think his goals are later in the prep, but I just feel he could just put in a huge result here and he might go to another level. The one I'm keen to take on here is Scalapini. It's hard to recommend in how disappointing King of Sparta went last week. Should get a nice run in transit, but it might be hurting with 100 meters to go. But I'm happy to back I Am Superman. And if Uncle Brin can reach 20s plus come race time, I'm going to have something really small to win on that too. Matty.
A race where you can make a case for almost all of these, maybe with the exception of ASAR and Streets of Avalon. Mr. Brightside, look, it was enormous last preparation. Obviously, winning the Doncaster and being fourth in an All-Star Mile. Just remember though, All-Star Mile, it did start at 26s. Doncaster started at 20s. If it didn't win the Doncaster, even if it just ran a place, I think you'd probably be finding it starting this race at $10. I can't take the $3 here. Look, it's definitely got a chance to win. As I said, you can make a case for most of these. Interested to see how Elephant goes first up. Has got very good first up form. Of the horses that aren't first up, Scalapini, I know you mentioned that King of Sparta was disappointing down the straight, which it definitely was. I think Serious Suspect just took the pace out of that and made it a sit and sprint. And I think Scalapini, for the horses that are into their preparation, it's the one that takes my fancy. Look, as I said, really tough race to be betting in, but if I was to be landing somewhere, I think Scalapini can really, really go close here.
Yeah, it's if I keep looking at this race, I could change my mind very quickly, but I just can't go past. I am Superman's jump out.
Yep.
I'd forget the Stradbroke run. It just looked horrible. And yeah, 3 lengths off Think It Over. And then went to the Golden Mile at Bendigo, and it was on the inside where you didn't want to be. So I think it was a forgive prep. Zara on board. If he can stalk where Mr. Brightside goes, he's going to take him a long way into the race. And Brightside might put his hand up second behind Scalapini to say, I've had enough, and I am Superman. Hopefully can go past them.
Look, the I Am Superman camp, they will be hoping for a bit of luck this preparation. They definitely hadn't much the last couple of preps. So for a very talented horse, it probably does need a bit of luck. So it's definitely got the ability to be going very close in a race like this.
Yeah, and especially Regal Power, he's someone I'm going to keep an eye on, especially Caulfield Cups. I think it might be set for that, and be interesting to see how these horses have adapted to Danny O'Brien's regime, and yeah, him and showmanship. So it'll be a good day to just watch and learn. Around the grounds, you might as well kick things off, Matty.
We'll stay at Caulfield. We'll go to this 3-year-old race number 6. Ebha. As I mentioned, Kieran McAvoy is only down for 2 rides, Rangers and Ebha. We know the stable's got huge expectations on this horse. Forget last preparation. I believe this horse, you've got to take it on some trust, but you've got to take a lot of these horses on trust, considering that a lot of them are moving from that 2-year-old to 3-year-old. So the ability of this horse, I think, will hold it in very good stead, and I believe it's going to go exceptionally close. Kieran McAvoy handing up a full book of rides in Sydney to come down just to ride this horse gives me a very strong steer that they believe that it may not win this race, but it's going to be winning group races this preparation.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Trialled like an absolute jet. I expect this run, Ebha, they'll light this up, I reckon. They will set new records up front, especially with, what's his name? She's got the Boom. They like to lead. Boris Thornton coming down for probably his first ride in Melbourne, so he's going to be a little bit scared. He's going to have to check the undies with 400 to go. But I reckon Ebha, dead set, could be in front by 3 lengths with 200 to go. It's just if she can hold on.
Fingers crossed. I'll finish off quickly. We'll jump up to Sydney for a couple of races. Race 4, we're going to go conscript. I'm exceptionally worried about J-Mac on board Catalan. Huge danger, but we do have Tyler on board. Gets us in exceptionally well at the weights. I'm hoping Tyler can put us forward in a really positive position, and I think it's going to be hard for Catalan to run us down. So conscript, it is only 225. That does concern me a little bit, but I think conscript can get this done. Race 6, Oscar Zulu. Hasn't had any luck across his last 3 starts, was running up bums. Looks to be well suited in this race. Looks to be a fairly even race, but at $5, I think Oscar Zulu is one that I'm quite comfortable to be playing, especially with Huey Bowman on board, who has been in phenomenal form. So race 6, Oscar Zulu, and race 4, conscript.
Beautiful. Boom. I'll go to Caulfield, race 1, number 6, the chief milk drinker. Altoni. This horse has been chewing our money, especially Caulfield run and last start. Just getting too far back or held up. Surely it's D-Day. We get Willow. Willow will put this in a good spot and should be hard to beat. I am worried about thought of that. He's got the blinkers on. That tells me they're going to lead at a good tempo, but Willow should be stalking him. And it'd be interesting to see. Watch him early, guys. Willow tells you how the track plays where he puts his horses. So watch for Willow, and we're going to launch race 1, Chief El Tony. I'm going to go to Morfordville. It's starting to become a nice track for me with scratchings or winners. So hopefully this is the trend that goes to the winner now. Race 2, number 13, Rich Anna. Now, bear with me, guys. This is a 5-year-old having his first start for the Jolly Yard. Interesting that the horse is having blinkers on pre-race only. That is a first for me, blinkers pre-race only. So is that they're going to try and run the race in the mounting yard? I don't know. But I'm still trying to work out what it's going to do for the horse. But move on to the race. It's only had one jump out for this. This prep, it was over 1050, wasn't asked to do anything. This horse was asked to do nothing, and some people might take this horse on, and I hope they do. So then I went back to its first ever jump out in January, and I was really impressed by it while it was doing a lot wrong and was almost trying to jump the lead pack with 200 meters to go. I think this is a nice horse, and I'm happy to take $5 and have a fair income crack here. That's race 2, number 13, Rich Anna. Multi, I'm going to throw in Uncommon James to win, and I'm going to throw Rich Anna in Adelaide, the place. Matty?
Epart, the place. Race 6 in Melbourne. Oscar Zulu, the place. Race 6 in Sydney.
That comes to $16. So we're guaranteed 4 out of 4 there. I can smell it. Pineapple of the week. Matty, it's been a while since it's gone back to the same person, so let's keep it that way.
Yes, as I mentioned, in race 3 in Melbourne, really confident that she's all class with John McNeil on board. Kieran Maher, Dave Eustace can get it done. Not much pace on this race. I think it'll be probably sitting either equal leader or one back. Once it goes around the corner, that's going to put a lot of pressure on these. And I think we're going to find out very, very quickly that it's going to be well and truly too good for this field.
Yep, 100% agree with you, mate. We do a line on that. I'm not going to give anyone a best bet. You can come join me in my community for my best bets and my thoughts. So that's all for the week. Anything else to add, Matty?
Mate, it looks like you've had an absolute cracking time up in Queensland. You've come back revitalised and you've just given everyone the big...
Yeah. Yeah, wait till we're halfway through the spring and I'm doing my nuts. The podcast is going to probably get a hell of a lot better. But hopefully you fill your pockets up. More importantly, we hope we're filling your pockets up. And we will touch base next week for, I think it's Mackenzie Stakes at Moonee Valley.
Beautiful, so, very good.
Hope you all have a good weekend. And, yeah, just our resident man is going to give us a bit of wisdom before we hit the racetrack.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.